Throat's fucked up because I've been all fucked up all week. Anyway, hello everybody, and welcome.
There we go. Strong, powerful
Shut
voice.
the fuck up. Welcome back to the Headspace podcast. It is episode 59. That's high. It's a good number.
What's up? What's up?
My name is HSR.
My name's Chris Chrome.
And I'm Prophetry.
Cool. And before we get into the podcast today, we're going to do a housekeeping section where we do a couple things like reading our favorite comment from last week's podcast. So, as you can see, a comment has in fact appeared on the screen before your eyes from Mr. MC Smooth.
Mick Smooth. Why MC? Mick Smooth.
Why not MC? Maybe it's Mick. I don't know. You can let us know if you happen to watch this and comment. Chris Webby actually sampled Blueberry Yum Yum on a song called Sativa. Now, why this is a cool comment is because we asked the audience, you folks watching, what your thoughts were on whether or not a certain song was similar to Blueberry Yum Yum or not. And he made Chris here's dream come true and gave him the Chris Webby Blueberry Yum Yum Connect. And for that, we say thank you. I enjoyed chatting with you personally in the comments, and it was cool. He left like 6 comments.
Thank you.
He
Thank
really
you very
participated.
much.
That sounds really great. Holden, what happens when people leave comments right now?
Oh, what an excellent segue. So let us talk about the Grind to 1,000 subscribers contest. As of recording this, we are at 683, so we are way closer than when we started this. We are more than 200 subscribers closer than when we started this. That's fucking amazing to all of you people.
Thank you. Thank you very
right,
much.
I'm not answering your question. I'm rambling. So yes, here's how it works. If you hit that subscribe button, if you like that video, and then you proceed to like Mix Smooth or MC Smooth, leave a comment in the box below about the review, about us. You could even insult me and be like, Holden, stop interrupting people, focus, etc. You know, something constructive and detailed to show your engagement in that.
Help us grow.
Letting the YouTube algorithm know that you watched our review a little bit so that it's cool. Like, they probably know I'm a dick. You can tell, you know, like, work with us.
Yep.
And then, magically, you get entered into the raffle of raffles. Okay, it's a simple one. If you win this, you will get $100 of Amazon money.
Poof.
Plus, you can request a review, and you can choose which people from the channel you want to do that review. It could be an album, it could be a movie, it could be a X. We'll figure it out, the limitations. And second place will get $50 plus the right to request a review, and third place will get $25 plus the right to request a review. And for every video that you comment on, you get an extra entry. Just to let you know how we're going to do this, I have been taking all the comments and putting them onto an Excel file. I'm going to scrub those comments and match against the subscribers. And then we're going to use a random number generator, and whatever rows get selected, that person wins. So you can see that it's legitimate and it's not bullshit. I will have that visible in public for y'all very soon. On that note, I think that's the contest. I think that's the stuff that we showed love. I think, Chris, maybe you can introduce the album we're talking
before that,
about.
if you don't want to hear us talk about the entire album in
I should
full,
have said that
you
before.
can always click the description down below and select which song you want us to talk about and select what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Good point.
And with that, for this week's Headspace album, we went with a mixtape, not an album.
That's true.
Lil Wayne's Dedication 6 that came out on Christmas 2017.
Who is Lil Wayne?
Oh.
Facepalm. Facepalm.
I'm kidding.
Lil Wayne, oh boy. So I worked at the La Senza distribution center once upon a time in the summer of 2008, I believe it was.
Jesus.
And there's a certain album that may have dropped that summer or earlier. It's called The Carter 3. And there's a certain single that was off that album that was mad radio friendly called Lollipop.
Yeah.
And that song was played more than once an hour. Not once an hour. More than once an hour on the local radio station.
I guess that's how Drake got back to back.
So I go do. Anyway, I just heard it so many fucking times. But anyway, Shawty Wanna Thug, and okay. It's a great song.
The nostalgia's real.
Later. Like, I hated it at the time, but all these years later, I fucking love it. And I feel like that's my experience with Lil Wayne in one moment.
That's how you discovered him.
That's how I feel about every song. At the first time I hear it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Okay.
I'm a hater.
I
I'm a
liked
sh-
Lollipop. The do.
Yeah, but keep in mind,
there
if you
was
heard it
also,
like 100 times while you were throwing bras and panties into bins.
But you know
it
what?
was
That
my
wasn't
job.
even the first song I got introduced to. I was listening. I first stumbled upon Wayne on "Stuntin' Like My Daddy" when I was listening to. Well, I know for me, that's what I'm saying. That was my first encounter with Lil Wayne and Birdman, and then everything after that, I kind of just followed on, and then I fell off the bandwagon at one point. I felt like Lil Wayne kind of started sounding the same, and just.
Well, so here's how I understand it. I then found him through the Eminem tracks, which were great. Like anything he did with Eminem was golden.
Wait, how many tracks? I'm very familiar with the one
thinking
he
of
did
3.
with like Eminem and Drake and.
Then
but,
there
like,
was Drop the World, and then there was No Love. So I know those were hype, and what I understood
right.
was that Wayne is technically proficient, but he. So then I realized everyone kept saying to me to check out his mixtapes and that his albums weren't necessarily as fire as his mixtapes, and I never did, and that's on me. And this was my first real mixtape experience with Lil Wayne, so I'm just throwing out where I'm at with him. I was very prejudiced against him for a long time because I feel like most of the music he released once he discovered the joys of auto-tune is not my favorite.
I mean,
And that, like, 2008 until, like, I guess this album that I've heard, in terms of the albums, the mainstream stuff that gets released, every now and again there's a song I really, really, really like, but most of them I don't. And so that is unfair to Wayne because apparently he was dropping mixtapes this whole time and I never listened to his real projects. And that's on me.
I listened to Dedication 4 and 5. They're both fire mixtapes. I remember the summers bumping them in my boy's car and chilling and having a great old time. But I never really kind of knew the difference. And again, that's on me. But I fell off Lil Wayne, and I fell off because I didn't feel like anything really changed. But now this is after I've kind of I let go of Lil Wayne for a couple of years. Going back on this mixtape, well, we will definitely discuss and you all find out. But it's very interesting.
Anyway, so yeah.
So, my experience with Lil Wayne has been a roller coaster ride. Originally, I was kind of like, I was really against what he stood for without really giving him a fair shake. He kind of represented the kind of hip hop that I was not super into. I was really into like the conscious stuff and the stuff that was like conceptually driven. And so it was hard for me to relate to Wayne and then in addition there was like a lot of auto-tune, which was something that I've grown to accept a little bit more, but I feel like, it definitely wasn't my thing then, and even now it's like really tough to draw that line, kind of like trap music for me as well. Like I like some of it, but it has to be the right way. And that was like my original feeling with Wayne. And then at some point in time, when I was like, I want to be a rapper, I realized I had to let go of like ego and say to myself, okay, there's a lot of different rappers with a lot of different styles, and they've all come about success in different ways. And if I'm going to be like this kind of pompous, arrogant dick who just like won't jump out of his own preferences, and if I can't study the people that I don't like, then, what's the point?
Yep.
So I started to take time and really listen in depth to artists I didn't like and try to understand what it was that made those artists great. And for me, that is when I had like a tipping point with Lil Wayne. Because I started to, instead of listening to him and being like, oh, he's not this that I want him to be or that I want him to be, instead I was listening and being like, okay, what is he? What is it that his fans like about him?
Dope.
And I started to see him in a different light. I was like, okay, he's not, like Wayne isn't about like driving like super pointed concepts or things like that most of the time. He's just having fun. He's like, you listen to him and the whole point is that he's just kind of like saying these funny things and like keeping things entertaining pretty much throughout without it being too serious. And when I started to realize that, I just like, I rode the wave with him. And I really got into the Carter 3. I like the Carter 4. There's like, I listened to a bunch of his stuff. Even I Am Not a Human Being Part 2. There's like a bunch of
There's a
songs.
Part 2?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on that album. Even like the opening track I really liked. And I think that was like a pretty mixed reaction album.
Is that the one? Is that like the album cover where he's standing?
Maybe.
In like
But-
an
No,
alleyway.
it's got like a moth on it, kind of like Silence of
Oh,
the
okay,
Lambs.
no, I'm talking about the first one. Then I also heard that album too. That was dope.
Doesn't he have Andre 3000 on one of these albums?
Probably. I mean, he's
Tech
Lil
Nine's
Wayne.
on one of
He's
these
like,
Yeah,
albums.
he's got everybody.
Tech
He's
Nine.
worked with a lot of
Like-
artists.
he, I love that he's got a song on like with Jay-Z on the Carter 3 called like Mr. Carter, and it's just him and Jay-Z because they both have like the last name of Carter.
I've heard that before. So I just want to chime in. As you were describing all that, I have to say that, like, philosophically, a lot of that is my story, too. Like, I hated on him because I thought he was a bad person, per se. Oh, he's just some gangster wannabe, blah, blah. All that shit that was cool to say once upon a time, I said. And now, it's undeniable the pop appeal of Lil Wayne, and he has some understanding of music that is clearly profound in light of the success he has, so studying him had a lot of value. But, again, it was never a high priority, so I kind of dabbled. I never got into it. I've never listened to... And then, I don't listen to a lot of mixtapes.
Yeah.
Like, I spent a lot of time reading
I
about
also don't.
DJ Drama this week, if we want to, like, segue in, the other guy who does the mixtape with Wayne.
Okay.
Because Gangsta Grizzle is something I've heard of a lot, but I'd never looked into. And apparently it's gangsters, always grinding or something along those lines. It's DJ Drama tag he was with. I think it was Young Jeezy back in the day was his DJ, and then worked with Lil Wayne on all the dedications.
That's cool.
So that's the guy who did all the beats on this
Right.
project as well. And then, so yeah, that's it. And then if we want to just take a...
Before we jump into like the album cover, just one thing worth noting. This is part of an ongoing series. The first dedication album came out, I think, in 2005, and this is the 6th. So he's pumped them out like pretty regularly as a pretty consistent series. Now, like, how much do you guys know about the dedication series? Because
None.
I don't know a ton, but the impression I get is that the whole point of it is that he's taking like cover backing tracks from successful songs and artists, and he's redoing them to his own style.
Yeah.
So my concept of a mixtape is what I've always thought it was, is you're able to just floss your style and your talent. Okay?
Right?
You build your mixtape of X amount of songs, but every track that you're taking is already been made. From what I've always kind of grew up with and what I've understood, it's always been songs that are already made. Every time I listen to Lil Wayne's dedication albums, and again, I've only really listened to like 4 and 5, and then this one, they've always been songs that I've already heard, and he's rapping on top of a beat that's already been.
But I don't think that is the case with all mixtapes. Like,
No,
not all
I understand.
mixtapes
I
are-
understand. That's not, I'm
It
not
is
trying to say.
definitely... I think it is the formula that made Lil Wayne pop
Yeah.
was doing this particular thing, and he was almost a pioneer of
That's
and
what
the
I'm trying
goal
to say.
was
Like Lil
to-
Wayne gave me
if I
that.
understand it, was
ideology.
to take your song and body you on it by doing it better on your own
So
beat.
okay, which is, can we for 2 seconds? The business side of that is very clever because what he's doing is he's taking hot tracks, right?
Yes.
And then he's remixing them in a sense so that people who are like already Wayne fans or don't know Wayne will want to listen to it and be like, oh, someone's done a remix.
But it's
Mm-hmm.
also like every now and again you do put your own original on there on this, just it's not like you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he did or didn't. I'm just saying that it's not like it has to be that. It really is a matter of licensing and things like that and how you publish it, etc. So in theory, you could just take a bunch of music you own and throw it on a mixtape.
Right.
There's no
right.
reason. Anyway, that's neither
Well,
here
I
nor
was
there.
just trying to say, like, that's how Lil Wayne led me to believe mixtape was. Like, every time I heard a dedication album, it was always seemed to be like songs that were hot during that year.
Yeah.
And then he'd make a mixtape with it.
Well-
I also think maybe he's like in terms of dedication, he's dedicated to rapping, spitting bars, his talent of what he does.
Yeah, that's how I understand him. He's a
Right.
machine with one of
And
the most impressive catalogs
If
of
you
music.
think about it, being dedicated to the culture of hip hop or even hip hop itself, why wouldn't you want to body all the 15 hottest songs of the year? If you also claim to call yourself the greatest rapper alive.
So here's
as well.
the thing, right? Like, I think Lil Wayne doing it was one thing. I think I personally like it a lot less now in 2017, the way that it just seems everyone, even when Joyner Lucas does it, it's not that cool to me anymore. I feel like it was amazing as a fresh idea, and now it's been done to death. And now what it's doing...
Well, now it's just business. Now it's just how people... You're not
letting me finish. Now what it's doing is basically cutting out people paying local beat makers and not investing in the producers that could otherwise be taking some money. So I feel like what I see happening far too often, especially on the local scene, is they copy this formula because it worked for Wayne. Even though Wayne is throwing money at producers along the way, for sure. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if Wayne paid money to all these people in this process, right? Maybe he didn't. I don't know. I'm just saying if it had... Anyway. But when you just jump on people's beats and all you do, I feel like it hurts your distinction. I feel like his chances are you're not going to body him. You're probably not Wayne. And he did that already. So anyway, for me, it just seems like it has its values as a person on the grind, but ultimately it's a money-saving tactic to not throw money at the right people. Anyway, just my thoughts on that particular thing.
Quick question to the audience. So what's your experience with Lil Wayne? When did you first learn about him? How did you feel? How have your thoughts evolved over the years? And have you listened to other dedications before this one? What were your thoughts on that? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, so let's talk about this album cover real quick. It's got Wayne with his hand in the blood symbol. And he's very cartoony with lots of tattoos visible, like it's a characterization, and it's got like text on the side that's really fun, like
Lil Wayne and DJ Drama Dedication 6 is very clearly written.
It's got Christmas Day, at least the one I have, and it's kind of cartoony, like it could be like almost a graphic novel that has limited colors. I really dig it. I think it has personality and style.
Well, it actually, I'm pretty sure Dedication 5 was black, red, and was more red and white, more a white background with a lot of red writing in it. And I'm pretty sure Dedication 4, it still seems to match the colors of what I see from the series.
I mean, 5 was also released in December, so they were both kind of like Christmassy releases. But this one was released like on Christmas.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was well designed and pretty cool looking. And I saw the one for like the part 2. It's been announced. It kind of looks like this, but a different pose.
Yeah, I also have to say that going cartoony is like a really good choice for Wayne because I think that is exactly a part of the appeal. Wayne is less of a person in a way on a lot of his music than he is a cartoon caricature. That's kind of the appeal, is that he is, very over the top in everything that he does, and I think that the album cover does a really good job of representing that.
Awesome. So you guys want to move into the album?
Yeah, let's just fly away.
Yeah. I didn't know what to expect. So like Chris had expectations, Ryan had expectations, right? I didn't know I was gonna get DNA. I didn't know DNA was gonna start playing with DJ Drama, like hyping it up and shit. And then I started Googling because I heard the Gangsta Grizzle. I had to go, I was like, wait, what's going on? I have to know what I'm talking about. And it was exciting. And then I realized, after a couple of listen-throughs of this album, that it is just fucking bars. Like, I mean, you might say that there's concepts to these songs, but they're not really hard concepts. They all kind of break down into bars. And as I understand it, Wayne more or less just freestyles all of this. And when I realized that, my mind blew. Like he doesn't write this down. He walks in and spits this shit. And I seriously, my mind blew. Like, I converted. I went from being a Wayne hater to a Wayne fan, like, by the end of this song. It was insane. I didn't understand it, but there's, like, such minimal amounts of auto-tune and stuff. He just going in raw. And his bars, they're not shit. Like, alone in a mansion of Macaulay Culkin, thought about your coffin and started to barf, and thought about your orphans, how they're probably starving, thought about this artful shit, how I'm so thoughtful. I'm like, that's pretty clever. Like, that's actually pretty good.
It's not just bars, though. I feel like
the
they're
rhymes
also...
and the flows.
Yes, the rhymes and the flows, but I also feel like with that line specifically, alone in a mansion on Macaulay Culkin, I was like... That's also, and I don't know if we were saying this off camera or on camera a little earlier, but it's the cry out for help. I think you were saying that earlier. Wayne is crying out for help and like his like dealing with depression and stuff. I feel like that's a really clever line in terms of him being famous and having money and still feeling alone in his big old mansion. I really caught that, as that was one of my
I feel like
cool lines.
he has like that, but so I guess my theory on Lil Wayne is he flosses a lot of this so aggressively because he's sad inside, and he has a lot of money and he has a lot of everything, but he's empty and alone. So as you like, even if you look at that line, you're right. He's alone in a mansion. He's Macaulay. Inside, he feels like a little kid. But on the outward, he comes with this aggressive rage. He's like, I thought about your car outfit. I thought about... Anyway. And he like comes in aggressive. Or he goes in all about women. And her pussy better smell like an orchid.
Yeah, I fucking love that line.
Wetter than a wishing well, need a quarter. Damn, I wish I was a little bit taller. Hells yeah, I'm 5'7".
Oh, I like that. I like how he
Damn, I wish
that.
I drank a little more water. Okay. Damn, my weed stank a little more harder. Okay, but it all works when he says it. Damn, I pulled a red bone Scarlet with a yellow bone car. That smoke green, that's Marley. Like, I can't look for real meaning in this. It's not that. That's not what this is. But when I look at the fact that he makes it work in this consistent flow, and it all kind of just is the equivalent of like those 90s rap songs that are just straight flossing, but Wayne styled. And I started to appreciate the brilliance of what this guy actually does.
Yep.
There was one more line I really fucking like. I continue going, I get to the bore, and I rip off his horn 6 in the morning, which is a great song. Then I just yawn and forget to mourn and give it to the star at 6 the reward. So first of all, he has a lot of these shoutouts to classic rap albums on this mixtape, which I appreciate now that I know what those classic rap albums are, which is dope. And I love the way he brands it with 6 the whole way through, and that 6 means something more than just Toronto and Drake right now, which is crazy how it's still Young Money using the 6. But anyway, thoughts that just popped into my head. 4.5 on 5 for me. I was blown away by this track. It was fucking fire. Plus, who doesn't love that beat?
Nice. 4 on 5, I think it was fucking amazing how Lil Wayne has so much creativity and so much diversity with how he controls his voice and his speed and just his metaphors and his bars. But that's really all it is just bars. So that is all.
Yeah, it's I mean it's interesting. I didn't know quite how to feel coming into this song. On the one hand, I love the beat. On the other hand, you know, I feel like you can only give him so much credit for the beat, right? Because the beat is like Kendrick's.
Right.
So, and this is a challenge for me because anyone who watches the show regularly knows that I discuss production, you know, a little bit more than the other two guys here. And with this album, it's a little difficult because I don't quite know. I can't be like, man, he nailed that beat because that beat, you know, they got from elsewhere. So I don't really know how to approach it for a lot of these songs. But I will say this, you know, I love the beat originally in Kendrick's song. It's still good here. It's very funny to hear, like, Wayne's Kendrick impersonation. The two of these guys could not be more topically different in their choice of things to discuss.
Yep.
Both of them are legends in completely opposite ways, and it's interesting. It's like it's fun and entertaining at points. You know, Holden like took a bunch of the same lines that I liked, but there's also I found this kind of just funny. Sometimes like Wayne's like choice of words is unexpected and therefore entertaining. Like, I got dealers and associates. Call that my DNA. All these diamonds, all this gold and shit. Call that PB&J.
It's awesome. Like, I'm not gonna lie, not to cut you off, but if I was 21 right now, I'd be really shitting on that, like an arrogant asshole.
Yeah,
but
and
now that I'm like
too.
into dad jokes, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, and this is the other challenge I have, like, rating this album is that, you know, Wayne is someone I've grown to respect. I still don't know how much that I would listen to a lot of his, like, there's some of his stuff that I really like. Most of it I don't, like, love, but it's kind of interesting. I have to rate this, I think, based closer to, like, my personal preference. And for me, when I think of numbers, right, 4 is the point where, like, yeah, I'd come back and I'd listen to this song a whole bunch. And 5 is, like, I'm in love with it. So I don't know that I can fully give it, like, great ratings, even though I still appreciate it for what it is. I gave this a 3.8 because it's fun. I do have to say my immediate thought first listening to this song, and then throughout this album, I have similar feelings. It's kind of like, Wayne has a lot of different sounds, and I don't remember from the past hearing this kind of, like, yes, he's done auto-tune, and then he's also done the natural voice, which he has both of those here. But even on this track, his voice sounds a little different than I can remember hearing it in the past, like the intonation. And this was just like the gut feeling I got was it felt like he was trying to copy the sound that was popular, which had kind of in a way almost been influenced originally by him. And it was weird because I was thinking about it and I was like, man, is he like a trailblazer here, or is there something like he's been a trailblazer in the past for this stuff? So, is he now though? Is the question.
I don't know about that, but I definitely thought his voice sounded rawer than I'd heard in a long time, and that I appreciated. Do you have any more comment?
No, did you? I give it a 3.8.
And Chris, do you have any additional thoughts? Perfect. I think that we should move on to track number 2. Every Day We Sick. That's right. I was blown away by how much I dug this track. I didn't think I would, because I was a hater when I first started. I was very skeptical. But then I felt the way he flowed on this thing. And the original is Every Day We Lit by YF and Lucci, which I've never heard, so this may as well just be a new song for me. But his flow was just so sweet. It was different than the last track. The last track was more intense. This was more of an airy Wayne. And I love the fact that in the first 2 tracks, he's able to showcase such different styles without, like, actually changing the core essence of what he's doing with it. Still, we know already that all the songs on this album kind of follow the same formula, so I'm just going to kind of point out the ones I particularly, like the lines I liked. Unless, Ryan, you want to go first this time so that I don't steal all your ones.
Actually, I didn't write down that many quotes for this one. You can go for this one.
Awesome. I wrote down this really long one because everything was meant. I took an L. What comes after L? My M's. Brilliant. Let's be real. He took a loss and made millions. Fucking awesome line. That AK with the twins, that's Mary, Kate, and Sis. Okay. My shooters, they don't miss. Fade away, then swish. And you just picture him like, fade away, then swish. And you're just like, all right, Wayne. Dedication 6, good plug, whatever. And Every Day We Sick, cool. Treating medication scripts like some revelation scripts. Yep. That's very much him.
Yep.
And if you take a keep it real approach to life, I can't hate him for being real.
He's breaking down the addiction on medication. So
I mean, anyway, it's a whole other side topic. But then we celebrate the win like we'll never play again. Like, honestly, the way he kind of flowed that all with the same overall, it's technically brilliant to me. It's really good. I also like the end of it where he's like, that dedication 6. If she starstruck, make a wish. I tell her, pussy, take that lick. I'm a big headed, make it fit. That's awesome. Like, he manages to make sex rhymes surprisingly not creepy when he does them, whereas other rappers make them almost nefariously evil. Wayne, I can see why he gets laid. That's what I'm trying to say with that. To
be fair, he has a lot of practice at it.
Of course. And then, Every Day We Sick. And then I love lines like, I need that combination, bitch, because I ain't got no patience, bitch. I hate to do it, but the line between love and hate is thin. Because lines like that show his humanity in the midst of all of this. Like, he really doesn't have this cohesive understanding of human relationships the way the rest of us do. So he shows us this fluffed up life that he lives, but then also shows us his broken humanity in the middle of it. And
the honesty behind it.
That's some artist shit if there ever was artist shit. I like the beat. I like the way Wayne hit it. I'm dropping another 4.5 on this because, you know what? It's not every day, but I could see myself being at work with a copy-paste task and throwing on this tape and listening to a lot of it and not even skipping tracks and shit.
Nice. This song got a 4 on 5 for me. He's very smooth. I like the tone difference. I like that he's got last track had more energy. This track's got more, I feel, passion and emotion in it in terms of still hitting bars, still all about dropping technical flow and being able to have the craziest bars, but it still feels like he's got more, like I said, passion for what he's saying. So I really like the feel of this one. The background song I've never heard before, so I'm withholding on this. This is the first time it'd actually be a new song to me, and yeah.
So I kind of felt like a lot of the lyrics didn't really hit home for me on this track. I definitely like that line that Holden called out is great, and it had flown over my head. So maybe there's other stuff that I mixed. The L's to M.
That was one of my pure brilliant.
That's very, very clever, and I didn't.
Let me paraphrase it. Last night took an L, but tonight
I bounced back.
Yeah, I mean it's great. a lot of the lines on this one though didn't really connect with me, like even in like the style that I normally like of Wayne. However, that being said, there's two things that this track has going for it. One is that beat, right? And it's great. I mean, like, obviously he's taking it from an already successful song that has nearly 120 million views on YouTube. So how bad could it be? Well, to be fair, I like this song a lot more than a lot of the other backing tracks on this album. I think it's really catchy, and I think Wayne's voice does it justice, which is the other thing that this track really has going for it. Wayne manages to have this really amazing delivery style here that keeps, you know, what I personally felt was an otherwise kind of empty song, in terms of like the content, really engaging. His voice alone, he could be saying nothing as far as I'm concerned, and just the way he delivers it is enough to keep this track strong. I gave this a 3.6.
Honestly, what you just said there, if I had to do my album review in a sentence, it would be that. He could say anything, but the way he says it is good enough, and almost every track on this album has that charm to it. Almost. Anyway, dope. I think we all... Chris, do you have more thoughts?
That is it.
All right, let's move on to Boyz to Menace. Not funny.
And I do you a favor, cause if I do you a favor and you don't come back with that paper, I'ma have to lay.
Right, so this one, Boyz to Menace, I've got to say that, like, this song was just, like, stupid fun. Like, I just the opening lines for Wayne, I believe, were like, I got my married hoes on single drugs, got my fattest hoes getting finger fucked, and my trashiest hoes is clean as fuck, and my nastiest hoes is neat as fuck. Take your shoes off before you walk inside, take your shoes off before you cross the line. I snoozed off on father time, got my goons to go kidnap daughter time.
It's so weird. It's awesome. Okay?
It's like, this whole track is kind of like, it's just like, this is like Wayne, this is the thing, you either love it or hate it. It's just kind of like, it's so weird, but it's kind of his choice to like be so like just like himself, right? There's nobody else who talks like this. That's what people who love Wayne, I think, love about Wayne.
And I get it, man. Hold on. Got a hot girl off television with a very sticky and hairy kitty in the right position, screaming, "You're consistent." I sit there and listen like we talking business. What? It's so... Nobody else could say it. Who says hairy kitty like that and gets away with it?
That's a Wayne line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wrote down the only Gudda line.
Oh, I have a Gudda line.
And I was like, "Sleep on me, I hope you die in your sleep." And that was...
Fire.
That was straight up the only line I really liked. Wayne does a really great job at being sporadic and extra.
No, but... Sorry, go on.
He's got a very good way of being sporadic and extra and being like just very fucking out there. And I like it about him. But I mean, at the same time, the verse for me is still the same of what he's already said on the last two tracks. I'm not trying to say he's repetitive, but I do understand.
See, I'm going to have to counter that.
Please.
Nothing he says on any song to song is the same, and that's kind of the charm of Wayne.
Not...
His subject matter doesn't go very far away from the same 10 main topics, let's say. But the thing about Wayne is, no, he didn't mention hairy kitties on the last track. And that's the thing about it. It's how is he going to say it next, right? And anyway, not to cut you off. I'm not trying. I'm just trying to defend Wayne, okay?
I'm not trying to attack Wayne on his bars, but...
It's like one of my favorite Wayne
lines.
lines.
It's a different way to say I had sex with a girl.
Yo, but you know what other ways he said it? Sorry, I gotta interject. This is one of my favorite Wayne lines.
Go.
I'm in the ocean getting shark pussy.
See, that's the thing, man. You gotta look at it more like it's a comedy stand-up. You know how like there's jokes who just do one-liners?
Yeah.
Wayne is constant one-liners. But Gudda's line of the sleep thing, literally, it struck out to me, and I almost wrote it down as one to quote, but I found a better Gudda line.
And it's Gudda.
Gudda. So, I love this one. I'm from New Orleans. Yes, I am a gator. Awesome. I'll do you a favor, and I'll do you a favor, because if I do you a favor and you don't come back with that paper, I'm going to have to lay hands on you like I'm giving you prayer. Eastside, we ain't playing it fair. I thought that was hard as fuck. And, like, I never found Wayne to be quite hard. He says hard things, but it often comes off goofy. That came off hard. That was a dope fucking bars, and I had to give Gudda his fair dues. Ultimately, for me, This Is For Real by Lil Uzi Vert is the beat. I don't actually know if I know that song. If it was on Love Is Rage 2, then I do.
It is.
But it didn't stick with me. My bad. I'm giving this a 4.25. I don't like it as much, and a little bit is really just the beat and the flow over the beat. So a lot of it comes down to how much I like the beat and how much I like the features is how much my grade is a reflection, because Wayne almost consistently does the same thing, and that's either love or hate.
Yep. I give it a 3.7. You know, I thought it was fun. It's kind of like this to me is like a pretty standard Wayne track.
3.5. 3.5. I don't like the beat. I like the verses. I like the flows. I like the consistency on how they control how Gudda controls his verse, how Lil Wayne controls his verse, but I don't like the beat. 3.5 on 5.
Totally fine. You don't have to like the beat. I wonder if you like the beat on the Love is Rage 2 review. Anyway, just curious. Oh, yeah, we reviewed that, so you can check that in the corner. On that note,
Eureka!
Yeah, that thing.
She snort one line, want a sequel. She snort two and want a threesome. She snort three lines, yellow D.
I really, really do not like this beat. Like, the piano and horns are cool, but, like, I don't like anything else going on.
Nope. And it's apparently Tifa's 300 pounds of guap.
I like this beat. This beat's very, very catchy. The piano in it is nice. The little synthesizing in the background is really dope. The little chimes that sound like little keychains or like little something hitting on glass is really, really cute. It's kind of like every other it's probably a modern day 2017 song. So
that being said, I mean, like, it's the kind of stuff in hip hop right now that I tend not to be super into, and that it actually sucks because, like, there are some really great lines in this track. Like, my favorite 3 lines is, she snort one line, want a sequel. She snort 2 and want a threesome. She snort 3 lines, yell Adidas.
Get
now,
it?
the joke, right, being that Adidas' whole brand is that they have 3 lines in their logo.
Yes.
And it's cute and
Hold
simple
on.
wordplay.
When I bust, I yell Eureka. You had to finish the line is what I'm trying to say.
Lil Wayne. Oh, Lil Wayne.
And then he says it again. He says a second time in a row, when I bust, I yell Eureka. Like, he's letting you know.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because the reality is I think I would have enjoyed this song a whole lot more if it wasn't for the beat, but the beat makes me, like, I can't really go back to this song because I dislike the beat so much. I gave it a 3.2, and it's really unfortunate.
I wasn't as into Hoody's verse, HoodyBaby, as I was Wayne's. I actually didn't write down who said it, but I did really like this other lyric. It's a dread on cocaine. I know routes through Pasadena. I got 2 keys on that Bieber. Call him Justin and Justina. That was
Fire.
great. I really enjoyed that line. But I'm with you guys, with Ryan at least. I'm not into the beat or the overall sound of this one. And because I also wasn't into HoodyBaby, it was like, not as good to me. It's a 4. But I respect and admire still the talent in this song. I wasn't into HoodyBaby, but that was more of an interest thing, not because he was bad. And Wayne is consistently awesome to me on this album. I felt a little bit like a new fan when I listened to this, a little giddy. Like, he could have said anything, with a few exceptions. He could have said anything, and I was okay with it. Like, nobody else could talk about snorting lines like that, and I'd be okay with it. But Wayne, yeah, it makes sense. It's fine. He can do it. It's totally good. Anyway.
I felt like this song was Lil Wayne's describing how you sell cocaine and you have a female help you. That was my take. I also got the parts where he's sleeping with them and having a great old time. I agree with both Ryan and Holden that it's very fun and entertaining. It's part of who Lil Wayne is, and it is part of what he is known for to do, is just be very out there. I liked HoodyBaby, and I also really did like the beat. So all in all, I gave this song a 4 on 5. I will definitely be going back to this.
All right, 5 star is what's next, because I've been fucking hoes and popping pills.
Living though, I'm out here living though. Meeting Tunchi winning though. Slimes out here twinning though.
Nicki bodied her verse on this track, dude.
I won't go that far, but it was good.
I straight up think Nicki bodied her verse. It was super dope. I like how she touched upon one of her lines was cover up my face like a ninja in this Alexander Wang scarf. I like how she acknowledged that there's a lot of like superhero and like ninja superpower looking type outfits that have been coming up in a lot of these music videos, but they're wearing a lot of rich clothing is what I've noticed. Like, I've seen Nicki do the whole ninja thing with her really rich scarves. I've seen like Migos are looking out like they're in the middle of winter, but they're wearing like $8 million fucking fur coats. So I like how Nicki acknowledged kind of like what's happening.
It's also a callback, I think, to the fact that she used to make more references to being a ninja on some of her old mixtapes.
Yes, that could also be it too.
I thought it was clever, but I thought that was part of the, like, whatever. That was an okay part of her lines. The thing about Nicki's verses, it starts off and she's parodying the Post Malone flow, and that was cool, so whatever. But then she just goes, all of a sudden, smoke, I got a free pack, flow sick, get a Z pack, don't know my race when they say she blacked, I am queen, facts, and everything she lacks, bitch, get on your kneecap, and I don't mean C-cap. And I was like, wait, her flow like doubles, it gets fucking crazy. I don't want to do it any justice, but
Yeah,
it's
I also like
ridiculously good. But it's also like really fucking clever. Like even my race don't mean my race when they say she black. Like she's blacking out, she wilding out. Like that's clever. That's pretty cool. What I don't like about Nicki Minaj and why I didn't bother with the Alexander Wang line, because it is fucking clever. It's when she does stuff like that is when she bodies herself, I find, and it's the stuff that is so unimpressive about her. But when she just shows clever shit like get on your kneecap, and I don't mean C-cap, like that's fucking Nicki flossing intelligent lyrics and shit. And I like that line. I like the fact that she bring him up so classfully like that. Like he's a standard. Anyway, it's that was well done.
Nice.
But otherwise, I did really enjoy how Nicki hit this. It was a really great thing, but I don't think it's the greatest verse, but it's pretty fucking solid, like really enjoyable. And then Wayne, again, it was more the flows of it rather than what they're saying, right? Nicki has a beautiful voice the more I listen to it, but Wayne made me giggle when he said, cocaine on her navel, lick it so that my tongue can go ham. Put my face up in her pussy and my thumb up in her ass. Make her do the jump, man. A. And I was like, that is amazing. Go Wayne. I just lots of rappers say they're freaks, and they say the stupidest shit. Like they're like, oh, it's wet and I spit on it. Like that's not making you a freak. That's like freak level 0.5. You know Wayne's a freak, and he's not lying when he say a freak. And he'll describe exactly what makes him a freak, and that's what made me in that moment. And the fact that he does the jump, man, like you just picture the girl in that pose and you're like, oh, it makes sense. It's clever. Look, I love that line a fuck ton. I gave this 4.75 mostly because the Rockstar beat is so fire that anyone can do anything on it. But why I gave it this is because I went back and I finally listened to Post Malone's Rockstar. I just never did. And albeit it's a hype track, Wayne and Nicki killed it compared to Post and 21 Savage. That's all I'm trying to say. And compared to Post and T.I. and fucking Joey Badass. I'm saying this is the best version of this song I've heard so far. Anyway, that's it for me.
Yeah, man, this song didn't really land for me. I've got to say that, like, Nicki Minaj has such a smooth delivery style on everything I have ever heard her on. And so, you know, that aspect is compelling. But... you know, in this track, I only really started to appreciate when she moved over to that second part, Hold and Describe, which I feel like had more punch and, like, really, really hit with a little bit more personality than the earlier parts where she's, you said it's mimicking Post Malone's?
Yeah.
She starts off the same way that he comes in.
Man, I feel just like a rock star. That's the whole beginning flow.
Right.
I've been bad. And then anyway, that's the Post Malone song, which once you hear it, it gets stuck in your head and you get why it's a #1 hit. But, yeah, so they do it justice in a very good, like, in the same way that she did it with the Black Beatles song when she did Black Barbie. Like, they do that, and they do it well.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so in a lot of ways, they did bite the original. In the same way they did it with the DNA at the beginning of Wayne's verse.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, actually. The beat also didn't, like, really... click with me. This was a problem on a lot of this album because a lot of it's taking from what's currently popular in hip-hop, and I'm kind of like an outlier. Like a lot of what's currently popular in hip-hop is not like the style that I'm super into. So it made it a little difficult to connect with some of these songs, this being one of them. I did enjoy some of the lines, like just like the silliness of it, which is kind of like when I go into a Wayne album, that's all I'm really looking for is just like to have a good time and to like zone out for a little while and like to laugh at a few like kind of awkward dad jokes, you know? And like Nicki Minaj has this line where she's like, I'll get you checked, pussy. I'll get you a free pap. You bitches don't ball out. You get your QB sacked. Oh, God. It's not that good, but it's kind of funny, so I enjoyed it. I don't know.
They're excellent at making jokes that are so bad they're funny.
Yeah, totally.
But they're funny now that I like that shit.
And then, I mean, like, Wayne came in with the super auto-tuned voice on this one, and he talks a whole bunch about fucking women, which is something that we know that he is an expert at. He has a PhD in fucking ladies.
He fucks 5 at once.
But you know, it didn't really connect with me so much. This one, like, there just wasn't there. Whatever it was, like, I didn't hear enough lines, and the beat kind of made me tune out a little bit more. So I do have to say, though, there is this one section towards the end where he's got this crazy flow with the autotune that he does so well. I kind of wish that all of it was that, because it just like picks up, and his flow is so perfect, and he really uses the autotune to its proper benefit. But just because there was so much of this song that really didn't click, I kind of ended up giving it a 3.
Okay.
I gave it a 4 on 5. I like the beat. I think they did way better than Post Malone, 21 Savage, and whoever else he did a remix with. I liked one of Wayne's bars when he was like, act a jackass like Steve-O, then disappear like Neo. That was just really cool how he shout out Steve-O and Neo. That was pretty cool to me. Other than that, my issue is like, there's not much really else for me to. I'm starting to feel like there's not much really else for me to kind of look to in terms of difference at the very moment. Again, the beat, I've heard it multiple times. It's kind of played out for me. I do like it, but it's still not something new I've heard. And as well, Lil Wayne, as much as he's technically proficient and he's doing it nicely, it's still kind of the same generic topic that I've heard him before. But I did give this a 4 on 5.
All right, let's talk about bank accounts.
I buy the narcs to the bitch. You buy apartments and shit. It's nice. I just walked in this bitch. You buy the art for the bitch. Yeah.
This one's over Bank Account by 21 Savage, which I've never heard before.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 M's in my bank account.
All right.
In my bank account.
Is that the actual song?
Pretty much it. I think I went a bunch of numbers over, but it's pretty much it.
So, it's like dope in the sense that Wayne's lyricism is still on point. His flow meets the song really fucking well, but I really don't like this beat, and I really don't like the feel of the song.
Yeah, me too.
And there were less lines that like stood out to me as that's gotta be something I'll bring up. But
Same.
there was this one. I made my bitch go get a clone, fuck them together, then they on their own. When they catching feelings, I'm gone. I'm whipping the Winnie the Coupe. Winnie the Coupe is so funny. I'm driving and sipping the soup. What? The shit that made me drift in the coupe as long as I get to the stoop. You know what? I don't care. It made me giggle. It sounds funny and ridiculous, and I really enjoyed that. But I felt like my biggest issue is with this one is he went really hard with like rhyming the same words with each other. Like, I'm missing my shit. I'm missing the shit. The shit. And I'm like, I get that it flows really well. And that, yeah, it isn't as clever or impressive as some of the previous tracks were in terms of showcasing what he can do. And I get that this is just another style and this is hot, but I don't like it as much. So 3.5 on 5.
Yeah, I gave this one a 3.2 for similar reasons. I felt like it just, like Wayne's kind of at his best when he's just pulling off like really clever lines, and because he tends to stick to similar topics. The problem is that it puts a really big onus on him to actually come up with those really successful lines, and I don't feel like this track has as much, in addition to the fact that the beat isn't super great, at least from my perspective. That's not to say that there's nothing to like here. There's a few lines in here that are pretty entertaining. Like I really liked Satan Sheets, I ain't got time for no messes. That exorcist told me my wifey possessive. Adderall just so we can go restless. The idea of the exorcist told me my wifey possessive is kind of, it's like a cute, funny thing. But that being said, there's just like, it's nothing here. Like, I didn't laugh out loud at anything here. There's nothing here where I like really was like super overwhelmingly impressed. I gave it a 3.2 because I it's like the same song that we've heard before from Wayne, but just not as sharp.
Well, I just wanted to touch upon that line you were talking about when he with the priest and the wife. Lil Wayne hasn't been married since like 2005, like 2006, right? And for me, I was like, what wife would he be referring to? So I took a moment to kind of think about it, and I think that maybe he's talking about his drug addiction. Like, the priest explained to him that his drug addiction as his wife is, like, obsessive and controlling, and, like, his ability to do a lot of this shit is really taking over him. So I kind of really, I kind of enjoyed that type of, I guess, thinking from what I got
That's
from
actually,
it.
like, a really insightful, interesting
Yeah.
point.
Well, I mean, it was just a little bit difficult for me to kind of just believe that he had a wife when I know he doesn't. He's not married.
I was going to just write it off like he just said it to make the line fit. Like, because that seemed to be more in line.
Well,
with what I
again,
would
he
expect from him.
does mention a lot of like his lean addiction and how he's.
I'm agreeing. I think what you said was way more insightful, and it's probably true. I think that Wayne is clever like that.
So I gave this song a 4 on 5, and I also do like a line where he goes, "I just left planet Earth, ran into Captain Kirk." I was like, that was really cool. Really
'Cause he's
only
a Martian.
Yeah.
really because of you and making me watch Orville and then getting into Star
is
Trek.
dope.
So I was like, this is cool.
That also just like Wayne has a number, I think at least 2 or 3 references on this album to like going to outer space, and like I think Holden's pointing out it's a callback to that song that he has about like I am a Martian.
Not just a
Yeah.
song. it's like a huge part of it. Like
Part of
it's a
Lil
part of
Wayne
it.
is
It's like
not
Tunchi.
being human. Like
Right.
Lil Wayne is not a human being. That's part of part of the albums. That's part of
Yeah.
his whole thing.
I dug it, but I'm not gonna lie. The next track's fucking excellent.
I don't really
It's
care
EXO
if
Tour
you
Life spelled
cry.
correctly.
But the sun touches yours, little nigga. I told my daughter don't give up your love to a poor little nigga. I told my bitch if she cheat, then she.
So I fucking love this song. According to Spotify, EXO Tour Life 3 by Lil Uzi Vert is the #1 song I have listened to in 2017. Like, I've listened to it more than everything else, which I found surprising, but not that surprising because it's fucking excellent. It's a great song. And he got Baby E up on this track, and he does, like, the little end part where he does his little singy bit, and then he, like, sings out the hook to EXO Tour Life 3, so I belted along when that part came on. It's a really great hook. It is the best hook that came out this year to me. But Baby E dropped a line that I felt was a little bit sincere for me. Fully loaded, money is the motive, all my bros G, take a guess at what the code is, overflow and fucking pour some more in. Rest in peace, Lil Peep, we already miss you, homie. And I thought that was really amazing. I discovered Lil Peep the week he died. We did a review on his album because we wanted to learn about him. And I fell in love with that EP, and it's one of my favorite projects that happened. I think Lil P was an amazing artist, and his pain was real, and it's sad what happened to him. And I love the fact that Wayne had that line appear on his album and giving that love for the kind of tragedy of what it is, because it's kind of relatable to some of the seizures and stuff that Wayne's gone through. So a little bit of love there. But then Wayne has a shit ton of lines that I thought were fucking brilliant throughout this track. Like, I step out that bitch, like, what's happening? Me and that little bitch I was napping in. Time to run with no rubber. I'm gambling. Get it? Risky sex. Just call me the rapper. I'm chancing it. Because Chance the Rapper. It's so good. Got a sassy bitch. Told her I'm daddy bitch. Does it look like I'm playing? Kaepernick. Get it? Because Kaepernick's not playing. And that's what I started to really appreciate, is how these puns are fucking cleverly constructed. And I'm bad at puns. And you know this because you've watched me make shitty puns in these podcasts. But his pun game is on point. Like, I really also just enjoyed this last one. I've been walking on this water, bone dry, hard times. R.I.P. baby, my phone died, but I won't cry. Because baby's Birdman, in case you guys didn't know. And he has beef with Birdman. And the Carter 5 is locked up in digital prison over money issues. And it needs to be freed, is what they say. I don't actually know enough about the subject. Whatever. And he goes on, I went to hell, there was a long line, 2 hoes into bed. It's hard to wake up on the wrong side, because on either side there's a hoe, which is funny. Few bumps on the road, a little bump and grind. I don't mind. Please know for your fucking piggyback that you could get hogtied, which is a great line. 2 Ninas on you, you fuck with me, the girl's going wild. Guilty conscience pimping, make the hoe sit through the whole trial. It's clever. It's fucking, like, it all flows together, and it has a certain coherency that I really like. And he hasn't done as much on this album, I find. So I really dug this. I felt that they both gave this song like serious justice to the original. I don't think I like it more than the original because that song's magical, but it's freaking great. 4.5 on 5.
Shit. I did as well give it a 4.5 on 5. I think that both Lil Wayne and Baby E did extremely well in in trying not to fuck up the song. Lil Wayne's touch of changing flow on this beat was a spark of interestingness because I'm so used to Lil Uzi's little bit of like the mumble rapping, slower pace flow.
Depends on the way to the top. Your girlfriend coming to come on over. It's not really that slow.
It's not that fast either.
It's just not that slow.
I understand, but it's not that fast either, and it's not as fast as what Lil Wayne did on certain parts of this verse.
What I'm saying is there are parts of Uzi Vert's track that are as fast as Wayne was going on this song. Anyway.
Fine.
Parts.
All in all, I do like Baby E's representation of the chorus of Lil Uzi's. So all in all, the whole song was pretty well done.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. It's just that's my jam, bro.
Yo, so this track, I also hate to disappoint the audience, but for me, this is like the biggest challenge with this whole project is just like the beat style is not the style that I dig. So while Wayne does come with some clever and fun lines here that I do enjoy, like, I've been walking on this fucking water for a long time. Molly water got me transforming like I'm Voltron. Smoking so much weed, I might just fuck around and hug a tree without a bird, because I deserve every fucking leaf. Referring to his dispute with
Holy shit,
Birdman.
we both quoted Birdman dispute lines.
Yeah. and Leaf the money, right? So it's good. There's good lines. Like he delivers, and I do feel that way about a lot of this album. Like he delivers some vocal gold on a lot of these tracks, and then the problem for me is that like I don't dig the beats, and so it's kind of hard to tiptoe around that issue. If you don't like the beats, you're not going to like the song very much, even if the vocalist is doing a great job. I gave this a 3, unfortunately.
Boo. Let them all in. Let them all in.
Take some. All these records, I'ma break some. Playing my shit around the graveyard, y'all fuck around.
I don't know who Euro is, but I like him. Apparently, I know of the name Cory Gunz, ain't never listened, but this one's over Phone Jumping by Dave East. That's the name of the beat, the song. Look, Cory Gunz is fucking ridiculous. So you're hearing Euro, and Euro comes in, and Euro does this kind of smooth, but he's still paced at the same kind of Wayne pace.
He's also got a lot of energy, though. He's very loud.
Yeah, but then Cory Gunz comes in with, I'm a beginning and ending and running and kicking and flipping it. We're spinning it. We're semi a minute and glocking the definitive iron. That means I got it. And he's just rushing through that. I'm like, honestly, I was just trying not to say the word. So it was hard to focus there. But anyway, Glock is definitive on him. Iron Emmy's got an eye on him still on these. More than any one of you. We knuck if we buck. If you my brother, we up. If not, I don't give a motherly fuck. Only in us we trust. You fuss. We hush. They rust. We bust. Adjust and dust and flush them. And I'm just like, whoa.
Yes. Approval.
Like,
Yeah, his flow is dope.
like
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting it. I remember I was sitting there talking to Aaron Sisk, who I met through the channel because he's dope. And I was like, wait a second. And he's been sitting here hyping up Wayne forever at me. And I was just like, I just like exploded on Facebook at this guy. Like this song blew my mind. It was really, really, really fucking awesome. Anyway, I know I'm excited, but really, like Cory Gunz verse, I cannot emphasize how much you need to go listen to it if there's nothing else on it outside of like the Wayne appeal. I also really dug the line, but I ain't tripping unless the trip is private. I sip in silence. I tried to make it beautiful. The shit came out perfect. Let the gun speak for itself. I ain't never been a loud person by Wayne, because I thought that was clever and pretty insightful, reflecting into his true personality just a little bit of insight into Wayne. The beat's okay. It's about the only thing in this song I don't like, but I do think this is some of the best rapping on the album. 4.5 on 5. I would definitely come back to this song.
I gave it a 4 on 5. I think that individually all the artists did what they kind of stand up to each other with their own flair. Individually, they have their own style and technique, and it was great. Euro kind of has this smooth but very loud, passionate, energetic flow. Cory Gunz is on that quick double timing, all these syllable play flow, and then Lil Wayne just keep doing the same thing Lil Wayne's been doing. I really enjoyed the level of flossing that each of them had, and on how one is focused more on like flossing about better lyrics, the other one's more flossed about money, and the other one's more flossed about just how gang shit and running around with the squad and everything. So stand up to each other nicely, and as well being true to themselves. Great track, 4 on 5.
Yeah, I like the beat more here than I did on some of the previous tracks. Like the simplicity was just a nice thing that worked for me a little bit more. I also thought Cory Gunz, came in and he had such a powerful delivery style, and his flow was so silky smooth. It was really enjoyable to listen to. Unfortunately, I found when I was like kind of actually owning in on what he was saying, he didn't say much that blew my mind. It was really the style that he projected that was interesting. And so that I thought was like kind of unfortunate, because he totally could have won me over a lot more if he had some more like robust bars in there. Nice. Lil Wayne had some pretty good lines. I like that he had that reference. The best things in life are free, not cheap. Free C5, referring to the Carter 5, and his unreleased album. Have we brought that up already and talked about that? Yeah.
Briefly, yeah.
But that Birdman is kind of holding for ransom, so to speak.
He had debated giving it away for free, but has decided he wants money for it, so it's still locked up until they solve their dispute.
Yeah, intended to be the last of his most famous series, the Carter series. Anyway, yeah, this track, I don't have much more to say on it. It really, it was like better beat. Didn't really steal me over, though. I give it a 3.4.
All right, just remember to keep your hearts young, folks.
Comfy, I put a rollie on her wrist, she used to wear spongy party times.
This one is Over the Beat, No Limit by G-Eazy. So we have a G-Eazy beat up in here. It's all Wayne, which is okay. I like the voice he's adopted for this song. I like the fact that it showcases how he can just change himself to fit any song. But really, it's this part. You fuck with me, you missing money, then you miss your molly. I get the money, spend the money, then I miss the money. But it come right back. That's that frisbee money. A son that climbing down the chimney, money with the Duffy. It come right back around the gang, yeah, that's some dizzy money. That's Humpty Dumpty, she get on that dick, she very comfy. I put a rollie on her wrist, she used to wear a scrunchie.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Like, it violates everything I once would have said is dope rapping, and somehow still sounds amazing. Like, it makes sense. Like, look, if you fuck with my money, you don't get your drugs. I get the money, I spend the money. I miss my money, but it comes back because I'm investing. So it's like frisbee money. It's like when Santa comes down the chimney, and like, you really run it down. It's silly and awesome. I also lied about the price to the spender, and I lied about my height on Tinder. That makes sense because he's short.
Yeah.
And if I hit it one time, I won't remember, but can't forget it if she bring another member. So, like, if you really want Wayne to remember you, you got to bring a friend. He's just letting you know. I'm going to give this one a 4 on 5. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty okay beat. It's not it's just not so much in the style of what I like, but I respect and admire what he did with it.
Yeah, I didn't like this one so much. I hate to be the buzzkill here, too.
It's okay.
Because I'm not really, like, a Wayne hater or anything like that. It's just that these beats don't really appeal to me. Like, I'm not huge into trap beats. And then this one didn't even really have a melody. It was mostly just beat. So it just re-emphasized the trap of it. The other thing I was kind of curious about, and I'd love for someone to comment if you know the answer to this in the comments below. This song and a few other songs, maybe all of them, maybe I just didn't notice it, but, like, they have this, like, kind of amateurish sounding audio tag at the beginning, and I can't tell if it's something that Lil Wayne put there.
Oh, it's DJ Drama.
Okay, he put that there intentionally,
like
too.
There's a few of them that come around, like the Gangsta Grizzle is one.
Yeah.
A few of them, yeah, but they're like staples of any of his mixtapes.
Okay.
And it's part of the original format of mixtaping of you had to put that stuff on it to make the song different enough so that you never got clipped on copyright. So you'll see it all over mixtapes.
Okay, that makes sense. As for like lyrics, Holden called out, you know, a bunch of the lyrics that I enjoyed. He also mentioned like, you did the Humpty Dumpty one, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also I think my favorite one was lied about her night to her vagina about to crown me a river. It's just like
I looked at Body
Lil
and I
Wayne.
said that line to her because it was so funny.
Oh my god, that line is so ridiculous. He also has, you know, Holden quoted the end of this, but there's the other part where it's like, Gucci slides, moody, tired, woozy, high, movie night, jacuzzi time, ooey, ah, dinner, prime, sushi, wine, and for dessert I have the cutie pie.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then it leads into like the Tenderloin you had. But yeah, it's, you know, he's got like some fun lines. And that's kind of the way I feel most of the time. Like there's a few songs where I feel like Wayne doesn't deliver as strongly as he is capable of. But for the most part, most of my criticism of this album is just that like these beats are like really poppin' beats. A lot of people like them. They are not my style. And so it's hard for me to rate this higher than a 3 because I just don't really dig the song.
That's fair.
I gave it a 3 as well, Ryan. Don't have to worry about it. The beat doesn't really withhold my interest. He's very goofy on this song. He's very, very fun to listen to, but I'm not really going back to this multiple times. I don't really have much to say about it. You guys pretty much took all the really good lyrics. So,
All right, New Freezer. That's what's next, yo.
Burn niggas like a freak bitch. Flip and turn you like a key switch, cause you bit the hand that I feed with.
Okay, so this could be my favorite song on the album. I like this song a lot. First of all, I like this beat a lot better than basically all the other ones, but definitely the last few.
It's from New Freezer, Rich the Kid.
Yeah, good call. But then to top it off, yeah, again, it's the trap beat. It's got like this simple like 2 to 4 note melody in that background where it's like down up down, and it's just like super simple, but it really works. And it puts the emphasis on Lil Wayne's vocals, which he really delivers on, both in delivery style, but also he's got like a lot of fun lines here. My personal favorite section being, I got big bags in my book bag, make me walk around like hunchback. Diamond so bright on one hand, gave all 5 fingers a suntan. Haters upset, that's a fun fact. I got pussy in my lunch bag. I got soap and I got towels, bullet showers lead to bloodbaths. Like, this is kind of the Lil Wayne that I almost love the most. The cartoonish, super over the top, ridiculous contrast, right? Like this idea of like childhood lunchbox packing and adult themed topics. Packing pussy to take as like a snack for lunch at school. Like, I don't know. It's hilarious. It's outlandish. It works. It's like this distinct style he's created. So I listened to this and this is like, you know, if this whole album was just this, I'd be in love with it. I gave this track a 4.4.
Oh man, there's a couple more good lines, but otherwise I agree with the flow of this track. It's also featuring Gudda again, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But he was less significant to me on this song.
he's more of the gangster rapper on this track.
But he appears for a small chunk at the end, unless I'm mistaken. So you get
Just at the beginning, and then it's
sorry.
him
Yeah,
and
but then
Weezy on the outro.
It's a lot of Wayne, and I really love this part. Death wish, dash with death wish. I come to fulfill your death wish. First I must refill my beverage. That's promethazine, so separate. That's from Texas. She knows who she knows. I get new doors, I ain't stepping. I get new hoes, I ain't hit yet. I hit yet. Time is precious. And I'm just like, that's funny. Like, it's not even that it's funny. It's just, I love the flow and the way he says those words.
Yeah.
There's nothing actually brilliant about these lines. It's just the way that's Wayne in a nutshell. He does his lean. He gives you idle threats, and then he fucks a girl. Is that not his whole career?
That's
And,
pretty
like,
much.
that's basically it.
Pretty much.
And if you wanted some more, I got hoodies that say Young Money. Awesome line. Because that's his company. I would love to have hoodies with my company name on it. I got bitches that steal them from me. Yes, that's a great follow-up to the idea. They go home and send me pictures to my phone with nothing under it. What am I to do? I'm loving it. And look, say what you will. If a girl sends you a picture of a hoodie with your logo on it and nothing under it, that's lovely. And even if you're into guys, it's if a person that you're interested into does that, that's lovely because it's like taking your work and sexualizing it. I'm okay with that shit. I gave this a 4.25. It was okay, but it wasn't my favorite.
I gave this a 3.5. I think that it's just a mediocre song. The beat is not that strong. It's kind of lacking. I'm getting a little bit drained of the trap beats that are very heavy on this entire album. but there has been some better ones than this one. Other than that, Gudda comes in. He's the active gangster. He's gonna fuck you up if you fuck with the crew. If you mess with him and Wayne, that's what's gonna happen. Lil Wayne breaks down the simplest things again. He's having fun with women. He's taking your girl. He's doing drugs, sipping lean. He really knows how to talk about his lean addiction problem and all of his other problems to bring light to it, which is great, I guess.
I don't know if that's why he does it.
I'm just saying, like, I'm getting the feeling that he's talking about it, whether he wants to bring light to it or not. It's bringing light to the situation.
See, I would argue that Wayne glorifies it, and it doesn't bring the right kind of light to the situation.
Okay, maybe.
And that's part of it. I have withheld all of my judgment for this review because it's not really fair. But Wayne is really into lean, and I don't really think anyone should promote it to that degree. And he kind of makes it sound like his life is just straight lean and this. And it's just that nobody really can live like Wayne does with this. And so for most people who would try to copy Wayne, there could be some very disastrous consequences. So I would say, yes, he does liberally mention his use of stuff, but it doesn't have that feel Future has where it's like, I'm an addict. It is more like, this is a matter of fact in my life. Like, hey, it's cool. Like, smoke a blunt, do some lean, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like, I don't know if you guys disagree with that, but that's what I took from the way he mentions drugs on this
Well,
album.
I could take that away from it as well, but I'm just saying, like, there is a lot of talk of his lean abuse and his love for women.
Yes, but
it's more glorification than it is trying to talk about.
You had previously framed it like the way Logic did the Suicide song.
It's not how I meant to do it, and I do apologize for that. But all in all, I gave this song a 3.5 on 5. The verses are good. The song's pretty boring to me.
All right. So, yo, guys, big question. What's next?
The money counting just a draws. Yeah, I make a count out loud, I listen hard.
So, yeah. This one is the original beat. It's an original beat by Cash Money AP and Oh So Familiar, which I don't know who they are. But apparently, I saw a Facebook status today about Cash Money AP. So he's a thing that I heard of today and then did this review where twice in the same day. I don't know. Not so relevant. This track also features Zoey Dollaz, who does this thing at the end. I don't like the beat as much. It's not really in the realms of ones I like as much. I do like some lyrics that I'll quote for you all. My little homies bang, my little homies, they deranged, they don't want the fame. Kill your ass and fly to Spain. Ding, ding, coke and ice cream. That shit got a nice ring. Put my fantasy up in the pussy, I'm just sightseeing. There's two parts of that are dope. The first part is, like, he's got people that really don't want the fame. They'll do their shit and get out. They want the money. They'll do what they got to do. And then just instant transition into ding, ding, coke and ice cream. And then, like, put the face up in there. It's sightseeing. That's funny.
I love that line.
That's clever.
It's a lot of fun.
And just the transition is so seamless. It's so, like, you can say what you will about Wayne being redundant on this album, subject matter-wise. I don't want him to rap about anything else. I want him to just keep doing this. This is amazing. We need somebody out there that is going to just say this ridiculous shit because it's entertaining. Like, it's good, fun music for what it is. Anyway, I also liked All Up In Your Section. Use protection when you fuck around. Very important.
Yes. Thank you, Life Lesson Wayne.
Yeah. Take it for what it is. Possession of deception, imperfection, no affection, no correct. Your transgression to depression, to aggression. Got an obsession for expression. With no pressure, no discretion. And the F is not for phenomenal. Anyway. And the F is for the flesh of all the fleshless ones that left him. F him. That was pretty good.
Yes,
I dug that lyrics too.
Yeah,
But
that was another part I really liked too.
I'm going to land on a 3.75 for this bad boy right here.
That is very close. I gave this a 3.7. And I felt similarly. I like... You referenced some of the lines that I liked. The one that you didn't catch was all my shooters accurate, codeine like a daiquiri. It's like, nice. Yo, and then run up to in your factory, mask is on like Michael Jackson. Like, just the first line there in particular, I like. It's not even. He's not like. There's nothing particularly. this is the thing about Wayne. It's so hard in some instances to explain what it is about him that I find compelling, because a lot of it is just his personality. And in fact, you know, I referenced at the beginning of this album how, like, you know, a big part of me learning to appreciate him was just discovering, you know, like how to study from people even if I don't like them. And then in that new light, I gained increasing respect for him. One of the things I picked up is that Wayne is like one of the best rappers out there when it comes to one thing, and that is conveying personality, distinct, unique personality. You know, like, he does that so well, and there's a huge value to that. People really connect to him, I think, because of that. So, you know, when he has lines like, all my shooters are accurate, coding like a daiquiri, right? Like this, it's like there's great imagery there, but even the way he says it, just the tone of voice he's saying it in, this like constant, is levity the right word? That kind of just like that entertaining like silliness that marks him, it's very fun. And then like the beat is fucking weird, but in a way that I kind of like. Like, it's so off and odd that I just kind of appreciate that, and it fits so well with, I find, his personality, his standout personality, that I ended up really enjoying this. I gave it I gave it a 3.8.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.5. I think that the verses were great. It's just at this moment the beats are not very holding up to me, and I'm not really liking the sound at the very moment. So, other than that, Zoey Dollaz, she did very well.
Is it he, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's a girl.
Is it?
Pretty sure it's a girl. I'm pretty sure it was.
Shit. So as we established, the guy very clearly sounds like a dude. Go on, Chris.
Dude's a dude. The song's still a 3.5. The beat's not really holding up to me, and I don't really like the song.
All right.
Although I can admire the verses, but
Blacking Out, Chris. Blacking Out.
yeah.
Be in Michelle, sitting back getting head from a mademoiselle, trying to put every ghetto.
This track, Blackin' Out, featuring Euro, is, you know, based on the story of OJ from Jay-Z's new album. And, you know, my immediate reaction listening to this was like, yes, please, thank you. Like, I was just so happy that we got a non-trap beat that's like a more classical style, that very, very, like, smooth jazzy piano and classic hip-hop beat. And, I mean, like, it's because it's taken from Jay-Z, and that's the style he tends to go with a lot of the time. But I really appreciated that change-up at this point in the album. And, you know, in some ways, this song is, like, a pretty fun track. Like, Euro's got that line posted on the back blocks, talking player. If she bad, then I upgrade her, get unlimited data. What a silly metaphor to make. I enjoyed it in some ways, like, and this is definitely more my style musically. The question that I have is what people think about this track, in the sense that it seemed to me that what Wayne was talking about a lot in this track was doing drugs and kind of getting faded, blacking out, right? But the Jay-Z track that they're drawing from here, the story of OJ, he's kind of talking about some really deep stuff. He's talking about some problems with racism in society and how that's perceived. I'll give you a sec. I just want to finish my point. So, like, what do you guys think about this song? And to me, maybe I missed something, but I felt like it was just like a strangely maybe tasteless approach to put over a really important song. What do you guys think?
Just to be fair, he's talking about how he uses drugs to escape the pain and the realities of the violence and all the shit that he has to deal with in the world.
Yo, he spends like half that verse talking about how at the end of the day he gets rich and plays OJ's thing like that. So I kind of see where Ryan's coming from, because it's almost like he took the story of OJ premise of being like taking the N-word and how it was applied over history, and, you know, slamming like the idea of wealth acquisition. And the story of OJ is a magical track. It is probably my favorite song off of 444.
Yeah, totally.
But here it's like Wayne takes the hedonism approach. I don't feel like Lil Wayne explored his drug addiction as an addiction very much on this album. Anytime he talked about drugs, it was often just about getting fucked up to get fucked up. maybe I missed something, and maybe he really was commentating on social issues here.
Well, I'll say the other quick interjection I have is I've heard him speak in the past about issues like during the Black Lives Matter. He kind of had an interview where someone was asking him about systemic
not a good
racism.
example of him.
And he kind of like in that interview he basically kind of stated something to the effect of like, I've not really felt the effects of systemic racism, so I can't say anything to it. Which to me seemed kind of like, okay, so he's just kind of stepping aside from the whole issue. But then here, Jay-Z's kind of explicitly talking about this thing, and this is not like that much later for him to have grown and developed and learned. I don't really think he is making some kind of reference. I think it's something he just overlooked, and to me that's kind of a strange, not so great thing.
I mean, I don't actually hate on it. I think what he's doing is taking the core premise and waning it up. That is what he does. And so I can't hate him for doing that. But it is an odd song choice. And I didn't really quote much out of this song because it just kind of felt really weird. In fact, like every second line was the N-word from Wayne. And it's not that it was poorly used. It really took like the core of what the OJ was in like the negative connotation of it and made it all about hyping up Wayne. Anyway, I really dug the We All Wavy. I'm just sort of on a different wavelength. See, they more like superstars. I'm more like Super Saiyans. Being the greatest ever is my destiny still. Since a child, I focused on my Kelly, Bay, and Michelle. Okay. And that's cool because he does like the little Jay-Z okay thing there. Calls out Jay-Z's wife. Does that cool Destiny's Child line. Anyway, it's an okay song. I give it a 4. It did leave me with a weird feeling, but I also think it was well done.
I give it a 3.5. I probably would have given it closer to a 3.8. I just found that like that would be like not considering the source material. The source material made it weird, and I felt like I couldn't keep it at like exactly what I would have felt otherwise.
I gave it a 4. I thought that Wayne did a really good job in terms of following the beat and flowing with it. Lyrically, I understood that he was trying to explain drug addiction. Not really.
Do you have
much.
lines to support that?
I don't have lines because a lot of them are covered with the N-word, and I'm not really kind of sitting here trying to
But like
block out
drug addiction. As
not
I
like
have a problem and
what
this shit's controlling me.
What I got from it is not that they have a problem. What I'm saying is like what I got from it was Lil Wayne's using lean and using drugs to escape from reality. That's what I understood from it. Yes, he also spoke about making money and getting rich off of what he does and flossing. Right. But I understood a part of that was he was just touching upon, like, I use drugs to get away from my reality.
Which is not talking about drug addiction. It's talking about using drugs to escape. And I just want to be clear that when you're framing it like Lil Wayne is bringing to light the problems of addiction in society. And that is just totally not what he's doing here.
I didn't mean to frame it like that. I do apologize.
I don't know. I feel like this the idea of like Wayne's talking about addiction.
I didn't mean addiction. I just meant he brought up the fact that he's got this issue, but he's explaining it and like he uses it for X, Y, Z reasons. But I did give the song a 4.
All right. Let's talk about SuWu.
True. I cross my heart, I won't cross you.
This one is on Problems by Six Black, whatever.
It's black.
Somehow, SuWu is apparently a thing Bloods say to each other, and Wayne's a Blood, and it's been around him a lot, so okay. I don't like this song. It's auto-tuned a lot. Like, it's the style of Lil Wayne I like the least, and it's the style that was super prevalent when I discovered Lil Wayne in the first place, and it made me a hater and stuff, so it was tough to do this. And there's only, like, one line on here that I thought was pretty good. And she don't mind fucking with girls as long as Tiffany's first. I looked at the girlfriend. I said, what about that, eh? And then she said, okay. And so I opened up the Tiffany's website, and she rethought the situation. But that was a clever line. That's about all I got from this.
I opened up the Tiffany's website, and then shit changed.
$760. I was looking at this thing. Well, she basically said that one was ugly. And then I rethought this. But if I could find a dope Tiffany's thing, I'm pretty sure we could make that happen. Is all I'm trying to say.
Oh, Tiffany & Co.
Yes. like the website, and it's her favorite fucking jewelry company. Other than that, nothing in this song resonated with me. 3 on 5. It's not bad. I just found it boring.
I thought that the like opening line kind of oh wait, not that one, sorry. The opening line of the first verse and I think the second verse as well. Roses are red, our eyes are too, yeah. Like that's kind of like a cute little way to open up a verse about drugs, but it's not like groundbreaking. There's not like many lines here that really caught my attention. What caught my attention on this track is you've got this slow bassy melody with some kind of distorted note hits that was pretty cool, and then this slow paced trap beat. And I actually did like the feel of this. I thought it fit his auto-tune vocal as well. So for me, it was kind of like a matter of stepping back and being like, okay, forget it. I don't even care about the lyrics. But like the sound of it was kind of cool, and just to that effect alone, I gave it a 3.5.
I liked the beat to this song, and I liked the original song. I didn't like what Wayne did to this. I didn't like how he changed the voice was different. The fact that he can change his voice is really talented and great. I'll give him that. But I didn't feel like the voice that Wayne used on this track was properly suited for the song. And I feel like in terms of paying homage to the original track, there wasn't a lot of like slow waviness to it. He was just trying to still floss on this. And I was like, kind of killed the original track for me a little bit. I gave this a 3.5 on 5.
That's all right. You can be my dog.
Let's park it like I'm Ted. I want turkey pasta with the shrimp. That ain't have shit to do with this.
Okay, so for this track, My Dog featuring HoodyBaby, based on My Dog by Lil Baby. So there's a lot of babies going on between these two tracks.
Clearly.
At this point, I'm starting to get a little bit tired of the repeated subject matter. I'd be more forgiving of that fact if it wasn't for the fact that, Wayne has kind of weaved in and out of having, like, some songs that were, like, solidly entertaining all the way throughout, and others that are kind of, like, it's like hits and misses. So then the beats also have made it challenging, and, like, this beat, I don't like at all. It sounds like too much to me, like 6 other different tracks on this album. That being said, like when it comes to the lyrics, there's hits and misses for me. The hits, HoodyBaby has these like 3 lines where he says, "College bitch twerking for my dick, hit her college park like I'm tit, like I'm tit. I want turkey pasta with the shrimp. That ain't have shit to do with this."
It's amazing.
I laughed because it's like pretty hilarious. There's a self-awareness there, right? Like rappers often will rap about stuff and then get kind of off track. The fact that he's aware that he's doing that and is poking fun at himself as he does it, it's just entertaining to listen to.
Just to add to that, he does it so seriously and nonchalantly. Like, he's going in hard, and then he thought about this turkey sandwich, and he just had to rap it out in the middle of it. He couldn't even... It was just so important in that moment that it was more important than, like, bodying you or whatever else was on his mind. Like, and he just drops it. It was brilliantly done.
Yeah. That being said, I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the like Wayne stuff in this song. Like he's got this one line in particular that I was like not impressed with, which is too much shit on my mind. I need a plumber. Like shit puns.
Amazing puns. Look, we debated. We actually had to re-record this one because we forgot to hit the button. So we did this before this conversation, but I had mentioned that multiple great people have made shit puns. Eminem and Lil Wayne, debatably 2 of the greatest rappers of this generation, both dropped poop puns this month.
See, I don't have a problem with poop puns. It's whether or not the pun is good. So it's not the fact that it's a shit pun. It's the fact that it's a shit pun.
I don't know, man. 2 like shit on my mind. I need a plumber. It's fucking great to me. I like it a lot. Just to throw it out there, another man who was a big fan of poop poetry was Mozart. Mozart was really into poop poetry. If you want to check that out, it's really interesting. Geniuses like poop. I don't know why, but they do.
Well, I gave this a 3.3. That's about all I have to say.
Yeah, I liked it a little more. I liked another couple of lines here, like 0 to 100 to a mil, from nothing to something to a big deal. Got to keep it trail in the field. I ain't cash money no more. And it's just like you hear that, and it's like, in my head, I can hear like cash money still a company and bitch on the bar. And now it's like, oh, you ain't cash money. It's like so clearly a different era of his life is happening now. And another great one for me, and it's really because of the last word of this line, was shot sprayed like malaria, hit your head like a triceratops. He rhymes it. It's actually pretty good, but it's awesome that he made a Dino line. I really appreciated it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the beat, but I gave it a 4. It's a solid, fun song that had a couple moments for me.
I gave it a 3.5 on 5. I didn't really like the beat, but the context of it is if you fuck with them, he's doing everything for his homies, and he will protect his homies if you fuck with them, which I've been told the entire album. So thanks for reminding me.
He's going to tell you that on every other song he wrote, too. Just to give you fair warning. Go on his... Anyway, many rappers will do that to you, Chris. This is a very hip-hop thing.
I am very well aware of that.
As we've learned through the comment section, which you can educate us, there was a time where that was the essence of what hip-hop was.
Yes.
I digress. So one could say that by doing that, he's keeping it pure as well as real.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you have more thoughts on this?
I don't really have much on this. The verses were tight. They stand up against each other pretty well, but it's just not something I'm going back to. 3.5 on 5.
All right. What about those Yeezy sneakers?
Oh.
You need to patch your weave, bitch. You need to pack your things, bitch. You want some? I had a dream.
This track is a tricky one for me. It's Yeezy Sneakers, Roll in Peace by Kodak Black featuring, is like the song it's based on, by XXX Tentacion. Now, like, the production here, I actually enjoy. It's got this better production with a brassy instrumental melody. It's another trap beat, but it sounded a little bit different, and I appreciated that. That being said, this song is tough for me because there's some shit that Wayne says that is like he says a lot of random shit that's pretty sexist, but it's kind of easy to overlook it because he tends to be saying it and it's like very clear it's all in playful jest and he's like not really serious about a lot of this shit. He's just like being over the top. But here, a lot of these lyrics are more than empty. I kind of see some of what he says as harmful. He talks about women like they're props that exist, you know, for men to own for their pleasure. And like, look, I get that he fucks around a lot. I don't really begrudge him for any of that stuff. But there's kind of a threshold of Wayne's like pornified view of women that I'm willing to engage is like kind of cute until it goes over the line. And this song kind of crosses that line for me. He says stuff like, I'ma wake the blot, I'ma break the lock, then rape your thought, then shake the spot. It's like, dude, don't joke about that shit right now. Like, this is like, of all the fucking times to be making rape jokes, which are kind of shitty to begin with, doing it right now in the middle of like this clear culture crisis that we're going through where there are so many women coming forward about how they've been dealing with like men in positions of power who took advantage of that and raped them, sexually assaulted them. It's like really, really, I don't know, like colorblind. It's like he's like completely missing, not only that this is like in bad taste, but it's like a very stupid idea. It's like this is the kind of song that like he could get backlash for reasonably, and that could actually happen. Maybe he doesn't care, but for me it was like a problem. There's some other lines too where he's like, baby, I'm out of your league, bitch. You know there's no more me's, bitch. You need to show more cleavage. V-neck polo tees, bitch. You need to patch your weave, bitch. You need to pack your things, bitch. You on some I had some dream shit. It's back to reality, bitch. You know, he's like a grown man who's just like not taking any responsibility for his words. And I'm kind of cool with like Wayne, you know, like stretching the line a little bit because he is this cartoon caricature of a person in the music he makes. For me, this song pushed it too far. And as a result, I'm just not going to give it a rating. That's where I land on it.
I don't disagree with your assessment, but like from a practical point, I feel like I don't think it went too far. I don't see a difference between this and like 2/3 of Wayne's career, and it's hard for me to not like you can't like listen to Wayne and then I don't know. I mean, I think the one line that I have a problem with is the rape line because I do think it's disrespectful, but there were a few other lines that contextualize who he's talking to and the type of women, and I don't agree with the mentality and how he treats them, but... And you don't even believe in Yeezy. Why are you wearing Yeezy sneakers? He's obviously dealing with a certain type of person who's fake. Certain type of, I would assume, gold diggery emphasis, because that is the type of women he's surrounded by. She ain't even swallowed semen. I don't even believe her speeches. Like, you know, like, I get the feeling that they're liars in his life and stuff. Now, I'm not trying to justify Wayne's behavior. I'm just saying that he seems to have arrangements with the people in his life as opposed to it. So, in a sense, they're employees rather than property, is how I see he sees his women. And I get that's why I don't have a problem with all the cleavage shit, because that is the women in his life and how he is with them and whatever. I'm not judging him for it. I just don't think... I agree with the rape line, though. That was kind of stupid. Just like Eminem, when he drops them, it's just as stupid. But I really dug this one. She don't even roll the weed. All she do is roll her eyes. All she knows is social media. We don't even socialize. I'm like, you know, the hollowness of the people he's dealing with. And if you think about, like, tracks like Tech Nine's Don't Tweet This or things like that, where they do have to deal with this, people are just there for the attention. I get the feeling what he's saying is either put up the work of your end of this or get the fuck out. Now, granted, it's got a high level of misogynistic badness to it. In the way he articulates it, I don't hate the message that much. I just don't like that rape line. I don't agree with how Wayne lives his life, but I just, I don't feel as strongly about this one as you do, except for the rape line, which I couldn't quote it. I was just like, it's not good. I don't think it's his only rape line. I think there's another one on the album somewhere.
Is there? Okay.
There might be tucked away, but I did really like the line, "I'm a legend like Socrates, bitch," because he is kind of a legend, and Socrates is a legend, and I'll give that to Wayne. I can't help it. This flow was pretty proper. Wayne did a really good job. Albeit, ethically, it might not be the strongest song. I give it a 4.5. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's definitely not a poorly executed song.
What do you think, Chris?
I don't think that it's really a right, and I agree with you, it's not a right time for Lil Wayne to be dropping rape lines like that. It's never a great time to be dropping rape lines ever at all. Given what I have heard from Wayne, I get it. I get why he said it. He is that extra. He is that type of caricature, as you say. But no, you're right. I don't agree with it. Like, just making that clear for everybody. On the other hand, the flow, with Holden, the flow is dope, and the song is not actually that bad. It's pretty cool, and when you really look past it, he is talking to a certain type of people, and he is basically saying, like, I'm out here doing what I have to do. This is who I am. These are my abilities, and yes, it might look like he's making himself look like a god or making himself look better than anyone else, but we kind of put him on that pedestal. We kind of put him in that light. We kind of make him, we kind of lead him to make him feel like he is that powerful. So he's just kind of expressing to everyone else, like, this is who I am. This is what I do. If you can't hold up your end, get the fuck out, because I can move on with or without you.
In the regards of talking to women who he sleeps with.
Yeah. But don't rape.
But, like, look, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is Wayne, as far as I understand him. I mean,
I did give it a 4 on 5 though. The song's the track's not bad. The verse isn't bad. I don't agree with the rape line.
Okay.
Yep.
I will say, you know, just like another throwing this out there, you know, you look at rap artists who talk about that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's some crazy backlash, and you know, I mean, that before even the Me Too thing, there was some crazy backlash for some of that stuff. Action Bronson a few years back got like in a lot of trouble for a song he didn't even release that didn't even overtly describe rape. It just kind of alluded to it in the title, but there was nothing in the song that was like really explicitly, clearly alluding to rape.
But just to be fair, I mean, you have idiots like Rick Ross who go put Molly on her champagne. She didn't even know it. Take her home and enjoyed that. She didn't even know it. And then follow up with...
You didn't even know it.
I die for these Reeboks. You don't even know it. So, I mean, if you have somebody...
Was there backlash for that?
Yeah, he got backlash. Reebok dropped him, and he didn't even...
For like a minute before they
He
picked
didn't
him
even
back up
apologize
again.
for what he wrote.
Yes, he did.
I'm curious, what do you guys think? Is this like a non-issue for you? Did those lines not really bother you? Was it something that you did find bothering? Like, how do you feel about the whole thing? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
All right, but on that note, I'd say that's the end of this album. We were debating doing the Drake song, but since it's a part 2 and it's on the part 2, it's just going to have its own fucking album, so we'll do it then. But yeah, there's a Drake song on his YouTube channel if you want to hear. I didn't really like it that much for Wayne and Drake. It totally would have not done so well had it been on this review.
Spoiler alert.
But the album hit like a 4.15-ish for me. I really think this is a powerful fucking album. It's niche rap, right? Like, in the same way that you listen to LMFAO for a particular thing, or you go listen to Tech 9 for chopping, you go listen to Wayne for this, and Wayne is the best at this thing that he is doing with the puns and the crazy word plays and stuff. I don't know anybody better on the fun side of rap that's doing it, is what I'm trying to say. So I dug this project, and I'm really happy to have reviewed it, and I think it was my name who requested it ultimately. I'm happy to have done this one.
I've got to say, I think Wayne delivers on this album in a number of ways that a lot of people didn't expect he was still capable of. He's kind of been out of the limelight for a few years. He's got some pretty great lines and is pretty entertaining. Unfortunately for me, there's this like overwhelming sense with this album that I really don't like a majority of the productions, the beats on it. Like, they're not my style. And as a result, it really hurts my ability to enjoy this album. So while there are some pretty great moments, I've got to give it a 3.3 overall.
Okay. My rating lands at a 3.9. I think that I like Wayne. I like what he does, but I'm not going back to half of these songs on this mixtape. I don't really think the beats are really holding up, and it's just not my type of vibe.
All right, that's fair. So thank you all for watching. Y'all are amazing, and we look forward to your comments on this review. And keep in mind that if you just got here, commenting does put you into the grind to 1,000 subscribers contest, along with subscribing and liking. Just some feedback onto the review, your thoughts on Dedication 6 by Lil Wayne, the whole project, how you feel about it. Yeah, so thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next week and doing more music and albums and whatnot.
And let us know how you felt about this particular project. How do you feel it compares to past works from Lil Wayne that you've heard? You know, what are your thoughts in general? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. All right. This review is done. Peace.
We'll see you next week.